Oh, I got a little bit of an ache in my shoulder. Hey there, go Diggy. How's it going today? Oh, right now I've been off my feet for a couple days after getting a second vaccine shot, and it more or less just felt like I got beat up. Everything hurt, and I'm over the hill now, but I'm still have some aches. Bulldog, how's it going? I've dropped 5 pounds since Monday. So it's Thursday today. Monday to Thursday, I dropped 5 pounds. This more like before I was fully hydrated and had some food in me, it was 8 pounds. But I basically eat until I can't eat anymore, and I'm still down 5 pounds. How are you guys doing tonight? Canada Day today? Hey there, Sissy Life. How's it going? I liked my. I had some time to think up my title for today's stream. Back from the dead, from post-vaccine hell, pretty much. Ah, I want some. I want my music to be a little bit louder, a little bit too soft. Well, I had two very different symptoms between the first and second vaccine shot. Here in Canada, they're essentially making you mix and match your vaccines now. So I got the Pfizer for the first one, and I caught a fever after the first one. The second one, I was a little bit hot, but within within an hour, my neck was really tight, and I was getting a headache like from my neck. And then over the next couple days, so I got my shot Monday evening, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, my entire body just cramped up. So like I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't move my neck. My shoulders were sore. Everything just ached. My lower back was aching, and then Wednesday night, I took an Advil and took a nap. I got up and I was more or less better. So over a period of like 3 hours, it all went away. But I still got some ache in my shoulder right now, so I'm trying to just really warm it up before I really push myself. Oh, I pretty much spent the last couple of days playing Stardew Valley while taking the time off of work. Didn't even realize that today is Canada Day. So today is holiday. Oh, thanks for the follow, Ali Cardinale. That's a name right there. Yeah, so I got the Moderna, the second shot. My first shot was Pfizer. My second shot was Moderna. Meanwhile, if you got Moderna for your first shot, you're more or less set. And from my understanding, um, mixing and matching the vaccines is highly effective, but the short-term side effects are worse when you mix and match. That's my understanding, at least, that you can expect worse short-term side effects without really any difference on the severe side effects. Oh, so let's see. Oh, thank you. Oh, there goes my camera. Um, I've dropped 5 pounds, and these are pretty solid pounds since Monday when I got my vaccine shot. But my last stream I had was on Sunday, and when my camera went out of focus, I started fooling around, doing a lot of stuff, and then afterwards I had the thought, you know what? That would probably make a pretty good highlight reel. So I went back, looked through the stream, and put together a highlight, and I was pretty happy with it. Happy Canada Day to you too. I'm not. I'm 5 pounds less. I had about an hour ago, hour and a half ago, I probably had about three and a half thousand calories in rice. I made myself some like seasoned rice with some ribs, and I just gorged myself. I have lost my appetite since I got the vaccine shot. I'm just trying to work out all my kinks from not moving my body for 4 days. Yeah. I'm also back in my workout room. My last couple of workouts have been in my living room. Here, things are a little bit more enclosed. Maybe I'm a little bit closer to the camera. Myself, I'm in the middle of Canada in Manitoba. Yeah, like I could not believe how much everything hurt after getting the vaccine shot. Like the shot in the muscle tissue of the shoulder, that didn't even hurt that much. Like it was sore. It was less sore than the first time, but that was like minimal. It literally felt like I got beat up. It felt like I got the crap kicked out of me, and just laying there recovering for a couple of days. That's exactly what it felt like. Like it felt like somebody had their foot on my head, like squeezing, like putting pressure on my neck, and this was my second. We have to mix and match. got the Pfizer for the first shot. You can't get Pfizer anymore, and if you have the shot, and if you're over 18, they recommend that you, or they heavily coerce you into giving yours up to somebody who's under 18. Well, my first one, I actually caught a fever, but it's like, okay, got a fever, slept it off, life continued. This one actually hurt. And I, I gotta go to work tomorrow, and then it's the weekend already. I'm gonna spend the weekend preparing all my meals to get myself back on the right track because I just haven't been eating. I got a whole bunch of unprepared food in my fridge that you know, I think for my first one, I ended up getting a fever of like 107, which supposedly is pretty bad, but the plan is, um, I got my shot on Sunday, and then 2 weeks from this Sunday, when I'm fully vaccinated, I'll start sporadically going to the gym again. Our gyms have been closed until this Monday that just passed. But even though I got my second shot, I'm still gonna avoid the gyms, give myself 2 weeks, and then after that, I'll still probably do only 1/3 of my workouts at the gym, and I'll save the days when I want to go really heavy to go at the gym. Man, yeah. Sorry to hear you got COVID before. Uh, for myself, I'd be more worried about rather than catching it. I'd be more worried about giving it to people around me. But I suppose if you get like there's people that get tons of scar tissue in their lungs and stuff. That's gonna suck. Whereas like statistically, I'm not that likely to die from it, but at my age at least. But there's people that have caught it and they're still dealing with the effects on their life. Um, I've been streaming since January. I started basically January 1st. Beginning of February, I met all the requirements to become affiliated. Um, I started setting it up. There was an error between like two different places. I think it came down to one place. I wrote my address as Drive. The other one I wrote it as DR, and it was like, okay, you gotta restart the whole process. So I put it aside and never got back to it. But for what I want out of streaming, I've been getting everything I need, basically maintaining the status quo. Um, I've, I've got about uh, I've got about 200 hours in 6 months streaming working out. So I've got about 200 hours of workouts just recorded, and that hasn't been all of my workouts, not by a long shot either. So it's like I get a nice like validation clap on the back. Um, but I've got some regulars who've been here since day one, and I never expected to enjoy streaming as much as I do, but it's made my home workouts enjoyable again, and I've been making consistent progress from January. I've been keeping myself at a lower weight than I'm typically used to, and it took me a couple months to get comfortable in my body because for years I always packed on a lot more muscle on my frame, but it's a lot harder to do without access to a gym and without access to like my bread and butter training program with like different with like heavy weights, cables, and just and making it easy to train how I always used to train. So it actually took a while just to get comfortable at this with this frame, and then now I'm comfortable. I'm owning it, and I'm making little gains here and there. And the plan is, um, like by the sometime this year, to start an aggressive cut to get down to 5 to 7% body fat, and then I'll take. I figure I'll hire a professional photographer, take a bunch of pictures, and then go back up to like 10% body fat and move on with my life. Well, I appreciate you popping in, joining me on my journey here. Whereas, like for myself, it's not quite a personal journey. Like it is my personal journey, but I am welcoming all you guys to come and join me. I've had a lot of people come and ask me on my opinions on a lot of things, what type of direction I would give them. Um, and one thing that's been nice is it's been 6 months that I've been training, and in 6 months, or 6 months that I've been streaming, and there are people who are sharing their progress with me over those 6 months and implementing maybe some of the things I've said, and like describing their progress, their improvements, and that makes me feel good right there. And it doesn't have to be like amazing transformation, right? And any progress is great, and it's just like being consistent and being happy with a bunch of small, achieving a bunch of small goals over time that add up to take you to a place far away from where you started. Thank you. It's actually, I'm just very interested. So even now, right? Like I will finish streaming and I will go watch a bunch of fitness videos. There is a YouTube personality that he was basically he was the first guy to give me quality advice. He's a YouTube personality who has no idea that I exist, but it's Elliot Hulse from Strength Camp, and he is recently started putting out videos. Like he's putting out videos every day now after being on a break for like I don't even know 5 years maybe. So when I started, he was giving out the best advice on YouTube, and he was basically focusing on strength training. Um, but he would cut the nonsense, not try to sell you anything. Just be, you want to burn belly fat? Do this, right? Follow these bunch of steps. And he might not, and he didn't always explain a lot of the biology behind a lot of things, or the laws of the world going around us. But he would give you high quality advice. And unfortunately, over the years, he started going a little bit off the beaten path to where he started off being very direct, and this is what you need to answer questions on YouTube. And he's been training his whole life, and he'd done all this research that I was able to jump off him as a platform to start with. But then he started getting into a lot of almost like grounded, like woo type aspects. And then he just took like a 5-year hiatus from YouTube, and he's back now. So I'm watching his videos. Your girlfriend loves me more. 87. Volume. You need a lot of volume, and when I say volume, I mean volume of hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is the stimulus for muscle growth. And the more volume of hypertrophy that you get in, the more muscle growth you're going to get. And for myself, I find it quite easy to put in a lot of volume into my chest. There's some aspect of genetics that goes into it, but you can always improve what you have. Right now, I'm just trying to work out the kinks after not moving my body for a couple of days after getting my vaccine shot. But for myself, when I want to go through big periods of growth, like work on getting the V, like really improving the size and shape of my legs or my chest, I'm training that muscle group, but I'm training it hard 2 to 3 times a week. And whether it's 2 or whether it's 3 days a week, it really depends on how hard you're training because you need to recover. Basically, to get as much hypertrophy in, you train as hard as you can. In that, you break down the muscle tissue, and then 2-3 days later, or like 3-4 days later, it's repaired itself, and then you do it again. And then so every time it repairs itself, you knock it down a little bit harder. And then over time, and I'm talking like 3 months on the short term, you're gonna grow quite a bit of size. And for myself, like I say 2 to 3, but typically it would be 2 days 1 week, 3 days next week, 2 days the week after that, 3 days, so 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, unless I find I'm not recovering, and then I might have to take a little bit of extra time and basically put together a program that's changing depending on how I feel at day by day. And my go-to for chest is cables. I like the constant tension. I like being able to really target whatever I want to target, and I like using cables to develop that mind muscle connection. So simply so deep. How's it going? I'm back. Whew. From post-vaccine hell. Happy to be here. I got a fair bit of aches today. Got my second shot, and right away it felt like my neck. Like I never have neck problems, and my neck was just stiff. It like cramped up, and within the first night, it felt like somebody had put their foot. Like I was on the floor, and somebody put their foot on my neck and was just putting like just stepping on me. And then over the next like day and a half, it traveled everywhere. So my back was sore, my shoulders were really sore, my neck was sore. I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't move my body. I spent a couple of days pretty much either sleeping or trying to sleep or in front of the computer. I started a video game that's called Stardew Valley. It's quite a popular game on Twitch for streaming. I felt like crap, so I didn't stream any of it. I just sat there and I vegged. Like I'm not even dancing that much right now, just because I feel a little bit rickety today, actually. But as I've been just moving my body, I'm already starting to feel more energy in my day, like more energy in my day. Whereas um, today was good compared to the rest of the days. Last night, I took an Advil, took a 3 hour nap. I woke up and it was better. So like I was no longer sick. I had most of my aches were gone, but I didn't really get my energy back until about an hour ago. Had a I probably had like 3,500 calories in one meal. Um, Basically just and rice and ribs. So rice with a little bit of ribs, and let the meal settle. Came here, and once I started lifting some stuff, it's like I actually feel awake for the first time in days. All right, so now I gotta decide exactly what I want to do today. I'll probably do some chair dips right away, maybe some push-ups. Oh, I don't really feel like using the fat grips today. I was planning to hit my forearms pretty hard, but honestly, I don't really want to work that hard today. Just want to wake my body up, let it know, here I am, I'm back, baby. And then start going full throttle starting tomorrow. And one thing, Tuesday, there was a swing dancing event at the park that I couldn't participate in. It was socially distanced. Basically, meet the all the old swing dancer friends and solo dance jazz style. Um, but I wasn't feeling well from my vaccination, so I ended up passing on that. And it was a little bit disappointing because these are people I hadn't seen in the longest time. But Sunday, I actually got a little bit of sunburn, and it's faded nicely. It's, it's, it's really blended in to get rid of my farmer's tan quite a bit. I was actually not happy with having farmer's tan. All right, so I'm gonna get some heavier dumbbells here, but I'm gonna take off my fat grips because those just make everything a lot more difficult, and I don't really want it today. There we go. Yeah, so I do have the option to stream Stardew Valley. I'm not sure how much interest any of you guys actually have to watch me play video games. Um, and Stardew Valley is not a very fast-paced game. It's one that's better served basically starting at the beginning and getting invested in it, and then having like almost like a series where hey, look at the farm develop. But I'm already halfway done through the game. Yeah. I'm gonna need a haircut soon. All right. Gubster, how's it going? Oh. So I'm back. Feels good to be back. The gyms are open up again here. I'm gonna wait 2 weeks before I go, and then when I do go, it's only gonna be sporadically. Resident Evil 5. Uh, that game took quite a long time for me to max out the solo campaign. I never was able to take advantage of the multiplayer. Yeah, I had a relatively relaxing Canada day. Uh, had to track down my caretaker to pay my rent. Um, but aside from that, it was just nice being in my body again and feeling like myself after 2 days of being run down after having the vaccination shot. And today was a good day. Today, like Monday night, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was just in pain the whole time. And then with that, today I just appreciated not being in pain. And I didn't really do anything. I didn't really do much more than I did Tuesday, Wednesday, but it felt completely different. Well, I know I was forced to mix and match, and my understanding is that they're heavily recommending or pressuring people that are over 18 who are getting Pfizer for their second shot to switch to Moderna so that people under 18 can have the Pfizer shot instead because Pfizer is the only one that's been approved in Canada for those under 18. And it doesn't really have much to do with the difference in science between Moderna and Pfizer. It has to do with the acceptance policy. And I say that's my understanding because that's what I've heard from people, that's sort of fallen in line with what I've read. Um, what happened with myself is I was able to sign up for my second shot the same day that the news was received that there was going to be a shortage of Pfizer. So I was trying to register and I just thought, oh, I'll get Pfizer and it should be no problem. But suddenly there was chaos everywhere. No one knew what was going on. People are panicking. And so I had a very short period of time to read up and make the best decision that I could. And I ended up switching. I ended up taking my first shot Pfizer, second shot Moderna. Hector, hey, how's it going? Ah, it's been a while. I was just mentioning that there's still people who come around from day one back in January when I first started streaming. And how are you today? I've been training pretty hard up until Sunday. Got my vaccination shot. Wiped me out for a couple of days. I'm back. I've got a little bit of aches here and there, but I'm just moving my body, feeling that like I've been streaming for 45 minutes. Every minute is better than the last. Yeah, no, my chest has actually got a little bit smaller. Dropped a bit of weight after the first vaccination shot, and then I moved places, so I'm in a new apartment now. I've got a workout room. In the process of moving, I dropped 8 pounds from a Wednesday to a Tuesday, or a Thursday to a Monday, something like that. I was moving and cleaning for 14 hours a day, and then I do like a 3 hour, 2.5 to 3.5 hour workout every day, and all that moving was basically just cardio. I got 35-pound dumbbells here. Oh, well, there's a lot that goes into a deadlift, and it's a little bit hard to like basically tell you how to deadlift from the couch, right? Whereas what you see is people will lift heavier weight than they should, and what you want to avoid is you want to avoid the feral cat pose, right? Where your back is like you see people where they like you see cats where their hackles are up. Like what will happen is the weight will actually pull your shoulders down, and that can really destroy your disc really quickly. Um, but let me read it. So you keep like a neutral spine is best, right? Like you want to protect your spine at all times, and there's a couple different techniques you can involve in your deadlift. It depends on whether you're wearing a belt or not. But you also see people who sort of have a curve, like their stomach sticks out. Sometimes if you're having like when you're having a belt, you're pushing into the belt, keeps everything like having a band around you, keeps all your guts in place. Um, and maybe that is from being used to having a belt and taking it off, but even with people like you see doing deadlifts, a lot of people, like most people, will only ever get to like 90% of like a really good deadlift because it's hard to get 100%. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and the best advice I ever got for deadlifts, right? So set the bar up midway through your foot. When the weight comes up, you want it you want the weight to come at a vertical line, and basically reach down flat until you get to the bar. Bend your legs just until your legs start to touch the bar. You want the thoracic tension. You want to get your shoulder blades back, and then start to drive with the hips. And then there's, for myself, every time I go, even a couple months without doing a deadlift, I will really, like, I will, like I'll go, like when I go back to the gym, I will have the fitness staff that are working there help critique my deadlift. Like what do you see? What, like, because sometimes you take a break and it doesn't necessarily feel 100%. And sometimes it can be as simple as like you change where your hands are a little bit, and suddenly everything else just feels a little bit better. Like deadlifts are hard, but for the most part, as long as you don't like round your back, as long as you're not really jerking, you're not lifting too heavy. Well, if you're not feeling deadlifts in your lower back, that's great, basically. Because most people are feeling in their lower back because they're carrying a disproportionate amount of load to the point where you can actually strain yourself. Um, but once you start lifting heavier deadlifts, it's going to be a full body exercise basically, and whatever your weakness is, like wherever the weak link is, you're going to feel that and you're going to figure out really quick. Like if it's your grip strength, you're like it'll hold you back from progressing with your deadlifts. You need a functional body to do proper deadlifts. And if you're doing it with a kettlebell or you're making other modifications, um, like they can still be good lifts, but understand that you're making modifications and there's going to be differences that you're going to have to variables that you're going to have to allow for that's going to change how it looks from a traditional deadlift. And protector's fine. That's basically what it comes down to. Um, don't lift the weight before you're ready. Like the worst thing you can do on a deadlift, right, is like I'll have the weight here, right, and I'm just walking around and okay, let's go, and then right, you're gonna hurt yourself. Get down there, right, and how do you feel? Like get yourself okay. No, I'm gonna get my feet a little bit here. Get everything tight before you lift. Don't like loose and don't jerk. Get everything tight, and even focus on just squeezing the weight up off the ground. Visualize it first. But deadlifts are killer on the hamstrings. Like you can do more Romanian deadlifts, right? Because if you're doing Romanian deadlifts, that's like your goal is keeping it straight. And depending on your mobility, you don't have to necessarily go down that far. Just like good mornings. Good mornings are hard, but 80% of people don't have the flexibility to do good mornings 100% properly. Right? And when you're going straight leg, you don't have to go all the way to the floor, but you're really loading the hamstrings right now. And even without the weight, I can feel it. Like I can feel myself loading the hamstring. And 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 then like when it comes to glutes, glutes are involved as well, right? Like get the hip thrust and get the glutes involved at the same time. Squeeze at the top. Um, Glutes are a little bit more important for squats as opposed to deadlifts, though. One way to really help your squat is to do some glute exercises before, like do some bridges, like some bridge thrusts with some moderate weight on yourself to warm up, like as an exercise before the squat. Get your glutes firing, and then when you do squats, you'll be able to thrust a little bit better off the floor and have everything work a little bit better in concert. And I've seen that help. Um, I've seen that help people where like I couldn't really give any other advice because it was just their glutes weren't firing in coordination with everything else. And when you see a little bit of sway, and it wasn't happening at like light weights. These are people that are putting on quite a moderate amount of weight, um, but they'd have a little bit of sway in there, and or their squat would look compartmentalized. It would look like one part, two part, three part, as opposed to all three parts happening together. Yeah. Well, if you can feel your glutes firing, great. Like, but like there's a lot of like protect your lower back when it comes to a deadlift, and you need that hip. Um, like I'm not talking the hip involvement at the very top, right? Because like locking out, almost like everybody can lock out, and you don't need to like come all the way back, which you see people do. You just need to not like some people stop here and they're not ever fully locked out. The weight's still pulling forward. They don't actually get fully loaded under the feet and are able to basically breathe for a second. It takes a lot of the strain out of the exercise once you actually complete. But I'm talking the hip thrust. Like there's a lot of hip thrust involved in the deadlift. If you're doing sumo deadlifts, you're going to feel like you're squeezing more on the way up. The traditional deadlift is basically more explosive. The weight comes up pretty quick comparatively. Whereas when you're doing a sumo deadlift, you're actually squeezing until you squeeze the weight up off the floor. And so when you're doing a heavy weight, and particularly a weight that you've never lifted before, sometimes it feels like you're squeezing for an eternity before the weight actually comes up. So you just squeeze and you pull, and then suddenly the weight starts coming up off the floor. Whereas with the traditional deadlift, that doesn't happen, right? Like you lock up, and then the whole lift is just tedious. But even the initial portion of getting the weight off the floor, if you're like people who are a little bit bigger or have some more inherent tightness in their body, when you counterbalance your even just you see people rock, right? They'll rock, and that counterbalance will almost lift the weight up off the floor just with the frame of their body. Yeah. Yeah. My recommendations are basically always the same when you're starting out. Like marry or adopt the exercises themselves and focus on becoming as good as you can at each individual exercise. And that will take you really far early on. And like the program part is easy. Well, it's all like it's doing exercise improperly or not understanding what's going on that's going to cause an injury, and it could just be one set out of a week's worth of exercises that puts you back a month, and you might not even realize you've done it, and suddenly you just the next day is like, man, I'm hurting. What went on? Like, how come I'm hurting so much? And without knowing what caused in the first place, you're basically doomed to repeat it. But I'm glad to hear that no more shoulder pain for you. Like, you'll probably want to push yourself a little bit, but you don't need to beat your body up too hard. Yeah. And one thing you have to worry about with limited equipment, doing the same thing every day you got to be careful it's not too repetitive, because repetitive is will be more likely to wear away at your body than anything else. All right, so you get a lot of people that will play a lot of sports, and the sports themselves will wear their bodies down more than any of my weightlifting ever has done to mine. Like you're running, and the joint is constantly doing, like you're going through this motion. Like if I do, like, even if I'm a boxer, right? So I'm just like I'm doing the pads, right? And this repetitive motion, the joint is going, like it's wearing down over time. It doesn't happen necessarily very quickly, but if I'm doing that 3 days a week, the body just doesn't recover, and like muscles recover actually really fast in relation to things. Like the muscles, they're born to repair themselves. Tendons, you're looking at a lot longer to repair. You start stretching your tendons, you get micro tears in your tendons. You're in for a bad time. But they will heal as long as they're still attached to the bone. But there's just less blood that gets there. It just takes a lot longer. Whereas you go like your joints, right? How are you gonna, like, if you get physical degradation of your joints, like there's not much you can do about it. All right, I'm gonna do some chair dips, I think. Good job, yeah. Pull-ups or push-ups are a great exercise. Like there's a reason that they do them like as a staple of the army training, especially when like if you want to get conditioned, go run a mile, go do um, some core exercise, and just do this and that. But then when you're already tired, try doing some push-ups after that, and it'll really test you. But on the other hand, don't take it as quality fitness advice because it's been done in the army. The army itself is its motive is to create soldiers, and there will be a lot of people that get crushed in the cogs on the way. So if they're less worried about your physical health as opposed to creating soldiers and then weeding out those who don't fit their mold. Man, why is my camera being all whoosh? Cheek curls, both arms. Yep. Just make sure you're still getting high quality reps as well. Proper contraction, full range of motion. You can play around a little bit with the lower portion or the higher portion of the lift. But full range, you're going to need a lot of full range of motion as well. There's basically two heads of the bicep. You can do different variations to, like, whether you're gonna, man, my camera is frustrating me here. wonder what I can do to maybe get it in focus here. There we go. Yeah, I like doing like for triceps. You can really feel it, like when you're doing the say like the rope tricep extensions on the cable. Often you'll see yours like they come all the way down. Well, try, well, maybe not the rope, but the bar, right? And you're pushing all the way down, keeping your arms in tight, but stop halfway. And like on the way up, stop halfway and then push again. That can really increase the difficulty sometimes. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of just trying things out. I've always liked using my own body as a science experiment. I'll read a lot of scientific studies, listen to a lot of advice, but then I'll try it out myself. And just see how things go. I like it though. You drop by to catch some Resident Evil, and here you are getting excited about working out, and you got it all in your brain, right? Where, like you're planning things out. You're thinking, oh, like what am I going to do next? Like what can I do moving forward? What can I throw in? How can I change this up? How do I feel? What do I want to do? Right? Like I love it. And just having that in your brain is a big step. It's you're on the right path to take one step at a time to get where you want to be physically. Um, you have a healthy body. That's also going to go a long way for your mental health. It's as well as it's easy to sort of bounce back from life's hiccups when you get that natural boost of feel good hormones every day or every other day when you're working out. And we are creatures of routine. Well, they'll say creatures of habit, but we're creatures that thrive on routine. And you put together a good routine, it's going to go do wonders for every aspect of your life. You get your sleep in order. You get start planning out your meals a little bit better. You don't get like really high spikes in your blood sugar anymore because you're eating regularly and more conscious about what you're eating. Yeah, me too, buddy. Um, so is chest hard to grow? Um, there's quite a bit of genetics that goes into it, but once like it comes down to getting the volume in, getting the hypertrophy in. I've repeated that like hundreds of times so far, but for myself, I just find it easy to get a lot of volume in. Other people don't, and often people who people already have some definition from their lifestyle, like whatever activities they're doing. And a lot of people, it's a lot of upper body. Some people are mostly doing lower body. You're playing a lot of soccer or something, and you already get um, But when you first start working out, it's a lot of things will play catch up, right? So if your legs were a little bit lacking before, they might have more room to grow, as well as to get a bigger chest. Um, you're also gonna have to eat enough to support the growth. And the leaner you are, the like for myself, when I start getting a little bit, when I start getting less lean, like the first place I start to actually see the excess fat is almost in my chest. Like my chest will actually get a little bit soft, and so once I once I start looking at myself and I don't like the way my chest is looking, that's when I will cut back and I'll lean out a little bit. So, and there's only been a couple times where this has ever happened to me. There was one point in time where I was living 6 months at a like I guess 1 month at a time living on a work camp, 14 hours up north, $3 billion construction project for Manitoba Hydro, and I would go up there for 1 month straight, come back for a week, go back up for another month, and they had the most amazing food. Every morning, I would have a 13 egg omelet with all the seasonings. I got cheese on there. I got all the vegetables, and I'd have a bowl of oatmeal with brown sugar on top. And I had this every morning, and they had these like amazing chefs, and every supper was like different types of meat, and everything was really healthy. But there's just so much of it, and it was so good. I just gorged myself, happily so, and I slacked on my training a little bit. I was still training hard, but I was building big muscle, but I was also not lean anymore. So I got up to like 245, and I do my rows, and I'd sit there, and they had a mirror beside me, so I do my rows. And one day I looked over, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? Why do I don't like how that looks. So I gotta cut back a little bit. It's like as well. I've always had, except for when I was like 5% body fat, I had like for a guy, I had an ass. Okay, like my glutes were like full and everything was I remember dating my girlfriend. I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I got a nice ass, and she's like, oh, me too. It's like, oh yeah, okay, good, right? Because a lot of guys are like flat bums, but like everything I had was my legs were really well proportioned. And then when I herniated my disc and I tore my glute, my legs shriveled up, and even worse, my ass just went like it's like someone chopped off my ass. And I'm looking in the mirror, going like, where the hell did it go? Um, but at the same time, like the point I was getting is when you're very, very lean, the ass disappears. Like the roundness that comes to the ass is very little muscle. Like you look at like when you get professional bodybuilders on stage, their asses are basically flat. Like they're thick, but you'll see the striations, but without a little bit of fat in there, right? It's actually quite flat. Yeah. Um, like it also comes down to like the lifestyle that you live, and like you say, you might not like. It comes down to like a lot of it also comes down to how you carry fat on your body. Some people are more lucky with where their body fat is proportioned than others. I'm running out of water here. I have lost my water. But like for most people, just having like a washboard just is like all they ever really want, right? Do some cardio, place like be active, um, like live a active lifestyle, be healthy, right? But like they don't need to necessarily gain a lot of muscle, but women as well, like a lot of women, like mostly what like they're just happy with like a washboard, um, like like nothing too loose, and just like more normal, I guess. But there is a lot more nuance than that, and there's no generic rule that governs all. I know back like 60 years ago, there was a lot more stereotypes with regards to ideal body types, where large muscle was seen as like weird and gross by a lot of women at large. You look at um, like the like the famous actors. You look at the rap stars, the artists, and the people that were idolized by generations, and you watch that progress. Where like Tupac was just like a skinny kid. Well, now to be a rapper, you're expected to have like rolls and be completely jacked on steroids, um, and now that's what people are fawning after, both men and women. Whereas like X number of years ago, that would have been less desirable. Well, even without great chest genetics, with enough training and enough time, you're still able to sculpt um, probably a lot better than you think you can. Um, but it just takes time, consistency. It takes watching. It takes maintaining certain levels of body fat while having a certain amount of muscle. And everybody can always put on a little bit more muscle if they choose to. You could lean out a little bit more, just become a little bit more active, get a little bit more conditioned, a little bit more fit, depending on what you want to go for. You could ignore aesthetics completely and just go for strength, right? You can do that as well. Like you can, like some people they just want to get strong, and they don't care if they have a beer belly. They just like strength, right? Like I like that like they want to drink their beers and live a certain lifestyle. You get guys that like well are getting paid millions of dollars to tackle other people in football, and it becomes a point of how much weight can you put on while still being able to run. All right, so what do I want to do? Um, I think I want to go fill up my water. Well, see, most people who are on the skinny side, especially if they think they don't have good chest genetics, like don't really have an idea of how high their peak genetic potential actually is, because you can put on like if you're skinny, anybody can put on weight, and it just comes down to you got to eat. There's no amount of metabolism that's going to outride eating. At the same time, skinny fat is something that builds up over years, and like you start putting on some muscle, and you need to like work hard and eat to supply that muscle. Um, but like I've showed you my before picture, right? So this is my before picture, right? Just 145 pounds, just flat, no real muscle definition. I played a lot of badminton, right? Like my chest, like I had no chest. I was basically flat from here down, right? Like everything was just it was just a tube. What's my other picture? I have another picture here. I can't remember what this is. Oh yeah, yeah. I was showing that my last stream. I was talking about how I would do partner dancing where I'd have somebody on my shoulders and I would be the legs, and we would follow. Where I learned how to follow in the dances, but um, yeah, I had a lot of fun. This was that was a good that was a good night. Yeah, so I'm not really out to push myself too hard today. Today's just a wake up call. My shoulder's feeling a lot better. Yeah, but like people like even like basic almost anybody can get like you're thinking like the lats as well, right? Like getting a V, that's something that most men can do with relatively easy. It just takes um, it just takes work, and it takes like for myself, I got it once I wanted it. Like once I wanted hard enough, then for like 3 months, it's like it wasn't in a day. It was like 3 months. I wanted one thing, and for 3 months, that's all I thought about, and that's all I went for. And yeah, well, honestly, this like sports like soccer are going to wear your body down more than weightlifting ever will, as long as you're protecting your joints. Because with any sport, like at least myself, I'm very competitive. I play, I want to win, and I will go the full round. I will go like if it's there's 5 minutes left, I'm gonna go as hard as I can for 5 minutes and just attack. And then finally somebody blows the whistle, game's over, and then I stop. And then I assess my body, thinking like, wow, I got inflammation here, I got inflammation there, I got this hurts. Like what did I do to myself? Um, and then it's like, okay, so I'm gonna pay for this the next couple of days. But I won, so yay. Um, Whereas when I go to the gym, I will lift something, doesn't feel right. I'll put it down. I'll think to myself, what happened there? What went wrong? What could have been better? How did I feel? Like what do I feel today? Um, and then okay, so I felt pretty good. So let's keep going. And then okay, no, actually, you know what? Um, I did a good job, but now I think I'm done. So I'm gonna walk away and move on to another exercise. Like when I'm at the gym, I'm thinking and I will assess that something doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm done. Whereas you're playing sports, no, you're having fun. You shut off that part of your brain, and that's not what you're thinking about anymore. Especially for myself, the heavier I am, the harder that sports are on my body. Where it was a lot easier to run around and pivot and really like redirect force through my joints when I was 140 pounds. than when I was over 200. All right. So what I'm thinking about is maybe doing some ab work. I don't do a lot of abs, but abs for me, abs are easy. They bore me, but those are more like a burning exercise. Like I'll feel muscle burn as opposed to really having to push myself and exert my whole body. You want to invest in some more equipment? Yeah. No room for it? Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. Um, you saw my old living room. I had everything rearranged how I could. Um, but there's a lot you can do with just a dumbbell. For myself, I was doing barbell workouts off the floor. Like I was doing entire chest, like even without a bench, I was doing entire chest, like and bench press and different workouts where I would literally lay on the floor. I bench press off the floor. I do my flies on the floor with the dumbbells. You can prop up a bunch of like put a block and put a pillow on it so you can like incline yourself, and you can do some incline work off the floor, and it's all good. But I got a wedgie here. Yeesh. Bring this guy out. Yeah, and for myself, um, I've made a lot of investments in my own fitness, but I've always considered it investments in myself. So like I spent a lot of money on just more expensive foods over the year. Like just like a little higher quality cut of like picking out the higher quality cuts of meat. Um, where I have like two options, and I would spend a little bit extra for a little bit more. I get I drink a vegetable and a berry shake every morning alongside flax oil, and that gets expensive over time. As well as for 3 years, I was eating 5 to 6,000 calories a day, and that's in meat and vegetables and rice, and that gets bloody expensive. Basically, I'm eating like eating 2.5 adult men under the table every day. Hey there, Echelon, how's it going? Oh, it was vaccine hell, that's for sure. Um, Very different from my first one. So my first one, I got a fever. I got the Pfizer. I got a fever. Wasn't that bad ultimately. The second one, within a couple within a couple hours, it felt like like I was laying on the ground and somebody was had their foot on my neck and was just stepping on me. And then I got my vaccine shot Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it felt like somebody beat me up. Like I literally felt like I got beat up, and that I was just recovering from getting my butt kicked. Everything hurt. Like I couldn't move my neck. It migrated from my neck into my shoulders and my lower back. Like everything just ached and was like my neck was all cramped up, and it was like it literally just hurt. Yeah, it was. But then I took an Advil and took a 3 hour nap Wednesday evening, and when I woke up, I was better. So I went from like being in just pain to okay, I'm better now. Um, but I still had some aches. Today's workout, I did a whole bunch of just moving my body, getting my shoulder mobilized because I still had aches in my right shoulder. But I'm doing pretty good right now. Anyways, the bane of existence. How's it going tonight? You do 2 chest workouts with a single dumbbell. Yeah. I would still recommend, if you can, get some elastics and learn to isolate a little bit and get an idea for what that actually feels like. Right. So I would like hook the bar over something that's not going to move. The thing I've hooked it over my bike. If I push, my bike is going to actually move. But with my palm up and I'm rubbing it against, you can see the outside of my chest act. How do I get my? You can see my outside my chest start to activate here. You want to get the pinch in between. I like crossing, so keeping the hands close and crossing the wrist. You'll start to see, right? You start to see it. Okay, now it's activating, and then here it just squeezes. You just get a really nice squeeze. Well, I'm happy to be your browsing material tonight. I'm feeling good to be back. Um, yeah, there's a lot of good exercise you can do with resistance band to get your shoulders in as well, right? Like you can get your. Oh, I got too much resistance on here, but you can just lay on it, bring it up. But I've got workout brain right now. I'm starting to forget the technical terms of everything. Um, but you get internal and external rotation of the shoulder, and you can resist and really, or on the other hand here, you can get the other. I don't know. It's hot in this room, honestly, and yeah, and if you use the resistance band to squeeze your chest, you'll so other people will give you advice on other type of exercises where, okay, I'm doing a press, but squeeze your chest. Well, you've done the work on the resistance band. You understand what it feels like to squeeze your chest, and that will help you carry that on to other exercises. It's like a lot of people, like for myself, I several years ago I joined a circus group, and I was a really good base. I could lock like I'd hold people up over my heads, or if I lay on my back, we'd be hand to hand, and like I lock, my arms don't move, and a lot of that is from the lat, right? So I'm holding my arm out. See, I understand how to activate my lat in the exercise. So like I'm doing a bench, right? I'm activating the lat here. You can see it, right? That's get a little bit more stability in there. And like that there was just all mind muscle connection. So a lot of lifts you're probably gonna activate your lat without actually feeling it. And so what's going to happen is maybe you're not going to contract as efficiently as not as effectively as possible, and it might be more like a push, like if you're like, sort of as opposed to controlled, you might do the exercise, but it might just be more a little bit more loosey goosey otherwise if you don't have the proper mind muscle connection. But if you say push something away all the time, you're still going to build up the muscle regardless from doing whatever activity you're doing. It's just not going to be as efficient. But showing up and exercise in the first place is already 80% of it. But yeah, like you saw me doing the lat activation, right? Like you can see, because can you see? You can see that on the stream, right? Like and then activating like it's not just the lat. Like everything in there gets activated. Like the more you help recruit to the lift, um, the better like just the better a lot of your lifts are going to be. And that's why I like the fat grips as well, because you can activate everything in your arm on the lift as opposed to just isolating the bicep, like with curls and whatnot. Maybe. Oh, my knees. I just realized I can't check the chat like this. Yeah, if you were lurking when I was showing that lat activation, I don't know if you can hear me from when I'm down here. I know I have some fans going, and when I like faced away from the camera or walked away, the sound quality has been a little bit less. But if you hadn't, like, if you were lurking when I was doing that demonstration with like the lat activation, just let me know. I'll take you through it again. I'm gonna grab my phone. That way I can still see chat when I. All right. Well, thanks for coming by. Happy to have you as always. Might get a little bit quiet now, but I can use that to start stretching. All right, there. Now I got my. Problem is I can't really go lengthwise because I don't have much room. I'm thirsty. It's hot. I'm so hot. It's actually been a long time since I planked. I almost want to head for a second to refill my water, but I sort of have the door barricaded here. Barricaded. All right. I'm going to be right back in about 30 seconds. I'm back. I just refilled my water. When I left that door, it's like walking through a like a physical barrier when like one temperature with like a pressure differential right into a completely different world. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I just ground my tailbone into the floor. Didn't enjoy that. Oh, so hot. Oh, oh. I know. I just figured I'm gonna send you guys to tonight after I'm done my stream. There is a, there is a viewer who is also a streamer. I was watching his stream about a week ago, and he had he was doing a collaboration with somebody else who is just full of energy and just like in your face, just like yes, tons of positive energy, let's go. And once like I'm not gonna be streaming for too much longer, but when I do raid somebody, hopefully he's still on, and I'll be able to send you his way. Whoa. Oh, I put my head down on a plate. What is that? Well, that's a 10-pound plate. Oh. Oh. It's too hot. And what I just realized when I moved down to the floor, the fans are blowing above me, so I'm not getting very good wind. And I've been heating up really quick. Let's get this. Oh, that's much better. Oh. Oh. Well, down to one viewer. It suddenly dropped right before I was hoping to raid somebody. Oh well. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna stretch tonight, but I'm gonna do several more minutes of abs in this room. Then I am going to head out to the living room with air conditioning, get all the fans on me, and stretch where it's cooler. Oh, Wedgie, for that. Well, I got messages from Twitch from like a week ago that I haven't looked at. I'll have to, like, I'm talking like whispers or whatever they're called. So there's my clock. Hey there. You can always ask. Oh, I'm starting to feel alive again after getting the fan on me. I was having a good old time standing up, working out, not really pushing myself. Then I went on the floor, and suddenly I'm wondering why I'm getting so bloody hot so quick. And it's because all the fans are still blowing up, and so they were just missing me. And now I've taken like a good 2 minutes just sitting here with the fan on me, and I'm feeling a whole lot better now. Oh, Canada! I think everything's cheaper. Common Enemy 909. Um, Muscle itself, when relaxed, has almost the same consistency as fat. It's like when it's relaxed, it's it's firm but soft. And then now, literally hard as a rock. So, anyways, oh, sorry, I don't have my stream on right now. Let's let's put the chat in front of me here so I can see you guys while I do these planks. Let's get these fans on me too. Actually, I don't have room. What's hitting my legs? I can't make up my mind what I want to do. I just feel like I have no room. actually feeling that on my shoulders more than anything else. All right. My shoulders have been sore for days, and so right now they're not 100%, and they're actually. Yeah, that's annoying. They were feeling good like half an hour ago, and now I think they just had enough. So my shoulders are done. So I'm gonna do some. Whoops. I'll do one more set of abs here. Oh, so hot. Oh, oh. All right. Let's send you guys here. This guy's got tons of good energy. Oh. I can't even flex. I can't even activate my abs right now. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back. It was good to be back and one with my own body again. I think you guys will like this guy. He's good people. Have a good night, everybody.